Good afternoon, everyone. Do you want a story? Today we will have an adventure with the main character entitled The Adventure of Phyweath by Crystal Tangqueco.
Once upon a time, there are three neighborhoods who lives in the city of Exodrimic. They are Pewed, Biowed, and Chemiwed. These three are very close to each other since they were a kid. The father of Pewed had a sick and it has no longer to be cured. The parents of Chemiwed is rich, that is why Chemiwed is the richest child among them three, while Biowed is the simplest person in their group. These three dream of going to the Land of Deposition and see the beauty of it.
Their 18th birthday has come. They intended to start their journey to the Land of Deposition. He went to his father with his friends, because he has no one but his father. They left their place and started their trip. They packed up all their things and started to walk, and after 3 weeks had passed, they unexpectedly reached the crowded place that full of plants that are releasing acids in the surroundings. Little did they know that these are biological sweetnesses.
They took rest in Kenway's aunt for almost 3 days. Then after, they simply proceed on their journey that is full of excitement while chattering. Byweight started to feel unstable, and Byweight's father noticed that Byweight is becoming weak and some parts of his body are slowly cracking.
After a day, Bayuet told his friends that they must continue their journey even without him. And Bayuet starts to crack into smaller pieces because of the tree starting to grow in his body. The tree did nothing but to fulfill Bayuet's last wishes. They stay beside Bayuet's small body pieces, grieving for hours, and they started to walk while shedding.
A few weeks later, the tree noticed that the cloud was overcast. Phyweath said that they must stop walking for a while and take shelter, but Kemwet refused and said that they should be in the land of their position and not waste time. The father of Phyweath tried to explain that it could lead him to death if he got wet for a long period of time. Nevertheless, Kemwet did not listen to Phyweath's father because of eagerness and started to walk out. The two can stop Kemwet, so they followed him.
While the three are walking, a suddenly heavy rain comes up and the tree got wet. Pivot commenced to find a shelter for them, and as they took refuge, Kemwet just resumed and walked away from the two. Pivot and his father wait until the heavy rainfall ends, and they fell asleep while waiting. A dazzling sun exposed them when they woke up, and they remember Kemwet. The two did not hesitate but continued their search for finding Kemwet and getting their destination.
The two was exhausted and finally found Kenny. He is sleeping under a narrow tree. The two woke him up, then told him that he must dry his body because he is too wet and need to dry through a towel. But he didn't listen. Nonetheless, he started to walk by and the two started to follow him. 3 days has passed. Kemet started to itching in different part of his body. And he saw that there is some rats trying to colonize his body. He told it to the two because he has nothing to tell it with. The two began to search for it to prevent, but nothing happens and it just continues to invade the whole body.
Camwet regrets on how they disobeyed the counsel of father of Pywet and apologized. They lift Camwet using their shoulder to support and began to walk. And as they walk a miles away, Camwet slowly becomes vulnerable and consumed by ticks and promise him to achieve what they desire since when they're young. Pywet and his father move due to their miserable journey. They continue their journey and almost got there in their destination.
As their journey, they encounter a mountain and that is the only path for their destination because they are already surrounded by water. Suddenly, Phyweath asked his father, "Do we need to continue? Because it is too dangerous to hike the mountain and there's a lot of chances that a landslide could occur." But his father continued to walk because that's their goal. Since then, he keeps convincing his father, but his father said, "Do you think you can reach your goal if you don't trust yourself and don't have hope?" And Phyweath was speechless.
That's why they continued their trip, then got to the top of the mountain. They can see the beauty of the land of deposition, and as they continued to walk on a downslope, the clouds start to become heavy and dark. There is a strong wind and a loud thunder. The wind got worried because they may be in danger when the rain starts to fall, and after a while, an intense rain starts to experience by the two.
They don't know that moment will be the last. The drops of rain mixed with the soil, and the two were located on a steep slope of the mountain. The landslide occurs and washes away his father, and was buried into the soil, while Phyweath was on the top of the soil and fainted. In the morning, Phyweath woke up without his father, and his face was full of sorrow and regrets. He wants to give up, but he remembers his father's will.
Gradually, Phyweath stood up and walked as each step. There is a flow of tears in his journey. He met the wind that helps him to reach the land of deposition. As time goes by, Phyweath finally reached his destination, and he was so amazed that many rocks are also in the place. Even though he faced a lot of challenges in his journey, he still achieved their dreams where his three friends and father gave him motivation for accomplishing whenever he's standing now.